Most caregivers speak to their loved one with dementia in the same way that they always have. Very logical, clear, and direct even. But the dementia-affected brain does not process words in the same way that it used to. So what you think may be helpful may actually get misinterpreted and may even come off as threatening. In today's video, I am going to teach you how to flip that communication style from logic-based speaking to more safety-based speaking. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's jump on in. When dementia affects the brain, two key communication systems are often impacted: your left temporal lobe as well as the right hemisphere. The left temporal lobe, care partners, gets weaker, and that's the part of the brain that processes language and word meaning. Whereas the right hemisphere becomes a bit more dominant, and that processes tone and rhythm and emotionality of what you're saying. And so that's why, care partners, it doesn't matter that you're saying the right things, you're being so diplomatic. That part is the weaker part. That logical processing part is becoming weaker. What's more important is the way that you're saying it, the tone in which you're saying it, the rhythm and emotionality in which you're saying it. One of the ways in which I explain it is I want for you to imagine that your loved one's brain is like an old radio that can only pick up a few frequencies. You may be saying everything perfectly. However, if you're on the wrong frequency, all that's going to register for them is static. The goal here, care partners, is not for you to try to force them to understand what you're saying, because their brain is changing and shifting. The goal instead is for you to tap into the right frequency in which their brain is going to understand. That calm, rhythmic tone, that type of frequency. Why logic fails in communication and emotion works. So, care partners, as I've already noted, your left hemisphere with most dementia types are oftentimes getting weaker, particularly the left temporal region. However, the right hemisphere is oftentimes becoming a little bit more dominant. So logic, the meaning of words, is becoming less valuable to your loved one with dementia, whereas the tone, emotionality, and rhythm in which you're saying the words, that oftentimes becomes stronger. So take, for example, if you went to your loved one with dementia and said, "Dad, the doctor said it's time to take your medication every Tuesday." Right? Very direct and clear. That's nothing wrong with what you're saying, right, care partners? You're giving a very clear message, a directive of what the doctor wants your loved one to do. Not to a dementia-affected brain. Right? That logic and clear and directedness can come off as very sharp, and that sharpness can come off as threatening to a dementia-affected brain. I know you did nothing wrong. It's dementia, okay, care partners? So you can shift that a little bit with, "Good morning, Dad. Hope you slept well. The doctor wanted you to take this. Which would you like to take first, this one or this one?" Okay, so not only have I changed the tone, I've brought a little bit more melody to it, but I've also given a forced choice, right? We're not going to debate which medications he's taking or if he's even taking the medications. We're now giving a forced choice of which one he's going to take first. So I've come in with a bit of a pep in my step, a bit of a melody to what I was saying, and then I've offered another strategy, which is a forced choice. Okay, care partners? So that's the subtle shifts that you can start to make in your communication style. And again, to reiterate, you weren't doing anything wrong. You were communicating in the clear, direct way that you've always communicated with your loved one with dementia, but you're now recognizing that that part of the brain, that's oftentimes getting weaker for them. So we have to shift the rhythmic way that you're talking. Okay, so come on in with a bit of melody, a bit of rhythm. And a word of caution, care partners, don't allow your voice to come off as childish, right? Like that high pitched tone in which we speak to babies or in which we speak to our pets with. Right? We don't want that kind of voice. Remember, their right hemisphere, that's becoming dominant. So they're picking up that tone of voice as childish. We don't want that. We just want a little bit more levity and rhythm in what you're saying, as opposed to that monotone, clear, direct way in which you've often spoke to your loved one with dementia. Okay, so just a little bit of a shift there can make a world of a difference. The power of the 3 S's, slow, simple, and safe. Care partners, when dementia affects attention and working memory, which it often does, communicating in long sentences with your loved one with dementia makes them feel like they're juggling glass balls. It's too much. It's gonna fall and shatter. Okay, and that's why the concept of the 3 S's I'm going to teach you today is so important. You want to go first slowly for your loved one with dementia. Okay, care partners, so you have to recognize that their brains, by virtue of having dementia, is oftentimes slowing down how they are interpreting things, including what you're saying. So if you're speaking pretty rapidly, then it's going to be, again, they're juggling those glass balls. It's going to fall and shatter. You have to slow it down for a dementia-affected brain. And you also have to go simple for them. I don't mean simple in an insulting way, but you do want to keep concepts, limit the concepts, the idea to 1 idea per sentence, okay? And then you also want to register safety in your tone of voice, particularly when giving an instruction or a directive, as we've just reviewed. Okay, so those are your 3 S's. So instead, care partners, of saying something like, hey dad, we're gonna have breakfast and then we are going to take your meds and then I'd like for you to go upstairs and grab your sweater. No. That's too much for them, care partners. Even if they are nodding along and it seems like they're getting it, trust me, they're not. It's too much for them. And they may just even snap at you and become rude. They don't even know why they're getting dysregulated inside, but they just are, and they snap and become rude at you. And the reason for that, care partners, is it's too much. There's too much cognitive overload. So instead of that, you'd want to say something like, as you both are sitting for breakfast, right? Breakfast first, dad, then meds. I will actually even put the meds right in front of the plate. And then I'll grab your sweater so that we don't forget it. And I'd go get the sweater and put that over the chair in which they're sitting at. What I'm doing there is, in addition to the words, right? Remember, that's starting to lose meaning. It's not as important for a loved one with dementia. So in addition to the words, I'm giving visual cues, visual aids. So I'm putting the breakfast down. I'm putting the medicine next to the plate. I am getting the sweater and I'm putting it there on their chair. Okay? I'm giving the visual cues in addition to what I'm saying. So I have slowed down. I kept it simple. I just first said breakfast, meds, sweater, right? And then also my tone registered safety. Okay, care partners? So practice that concept, the 3 S's: slow, simple, safe. Okay, partners, if this is helpful to you, then please go ahead, like and subscribe. It lets me know that I'm offering some help to you. I'm offering maybe education that, no one's ever explained to you before. No one's ever given to you before. You got a diagnosis sent on your way and you were left to figure this all out on your own. So if this is helping you to sort some of this out on your own, then please go ahead and like and subscribe and share it with other care partners who similarly are struggling and could use the support. Let's go on. Match, then lead. This concept, care partner, is going to be one of your most powerful tools yet. When you can match your loved one's experience and then lead them away from it, again, power. What do I mean by that? So, care partners, humans, we are wired for emotional mirroring. Just think about when your sibling cries, right? Your sister starts crying about something. You start to get emotional and tear as well if you care about what they are talking about. Right? Oftentimes, most times when someone you love is very upset, you tend to also feel that and get a bit upset for them as well. That's called emotional mirroring. So when your loved one with dementia is upset, I don't want for you to match their upset. That's not what I'm meaning here, but I want for you to match what it is that they're needing. So let's say that they are crying, right? When someone is tearful and crying, if you stand stone-faced and give no response, that will come off as dismissive, whether you have dementia or not, right? But if someone is upset and they're tearful and they're crying and you come over with a concerned look on your face, right? You are matching their emotion by giving them what it is that they need in that moment, which could be a bit of reassurance. So if you can match where your loved one with dementia is, even if they're communicating something fake or not in this reality, right? If you can match their upset, their emotion with the concern, then that's going to be powerful, because once you're with them for a while with it, then you'll be able to lead them to something else. Let's go have a cup of tea. Let's go talk about it more in the kitchen, okay? What I mean by that, for example, let's say that they came over to you and said that someone stole their purse, and they're really angry about someone stealing their purse. Care partners, again, if you're stone-faced and you say, Mom, no one stole your purse, you just misplaced it, right? Like, here's this exasperated sigh, right? You're giving off a lot of body language and tone of voice that this is annoying and I don't want to deal with this, right? That's going to lead you to butt heads, because in your mom's mind, someone did steal her purse and she's very upset about it. But if you can recognize that even though someone did not steal your loved one's purse, but they are upset, and if you can match it with concern, Mom, your purse is missing again, someone stole it, and she's going to go and be upset, and she's going to continue with her confabulation, and then you're going to say, I understand, that's so upsetting. I am here to help. Let me go have a look around and see if I can find it. I'm going to go look in a couple of places that's coming to mind right now. Let's go to the kitchen. Let me get you settled and I can go and help you look for it. Okay, care partners, I'm bringing concern, I'm bringing empathy. Even if you know the purse is upstairs under the mattress where she hid it, right? We're not going to say that. We're going to show concern. We're going to match that energy that she needed, okay? And that's going to allow you to be able to redirect her to the kitchen while you go and be a miracle worker and go solve the day and bring the purse down. Okay, good partners? So matching and then leading is going to be a powerful tool for you when you can reassure your loved one with dementia when they're upset or when they're angry. And this is called co-regulation. This is a very powerful tool that we use in psychology all the time. And so I want for you to practice it, okay, good partners? And be genuine. All of these skills that I'm teaching you today, all of these tools that I'm giving you for your toolkit, practice this in the mirror first, okay? Because it's going to feel a bit unnatural. You're not used to speaking in this way to your loved one with dementia. And so just see how it looks in a mirror first. Are you showing enough concern with your affect, your face, right? Is your brow showing concern for them? Are you tilting your head, right? Giving the message that I want to understand what you're saying. Are you extending gentle touch towards them? Are you giving all of the body language and the safety cues that your loved one with dementia needs? Practice in the mirror. You'll get better. You'll see. Use the you-me framework. So, care partners, collaboration ensures trust, whereas command activate parts of the brain that sounds an alarm system to your loved one with dementia. So when you can use you, me language, you are building trust with your loved one with dementia. You are creating that safety that we've talked about all along. So instead of, Dad, go take your medication. Dad, it's time for your medication, right? That starts to feel threatening. The alarm systems in the brain that gets activated with dementia starts going off. Who are you talking to? Stop bossing me around. Don't tell me what to do, right? That's going to be the response that you get when you are given these commands. However, care partners, when you are using you, me language, such as let's, right? So Dad, let's take your medication together, right? That's a different approach to here, let's get your meds, okay? So it's going to lead to your loved ones being more collaborative with you, feeling as if they can trust you a bit more. I know that this is a very oversimplified example, care partners, but I'm giving you the oversimplified example so that you can practice it with your unique situation. So let's move from Dad, do this to let's, right? Let's get your sweater. Let's get your meds. Let's figure out what outfit you want to wear today. Let us, the you, me framework goes a long way. When words don't work, care partners, in later stages, words are going to lose their meaning altogether, but the emotion won't. The emotion is still going to be there. There are parts of the brain that are quite resistant to dementia for a longer period of time, even in the later stages. And so when we talk about communication, care partners, we don't only communicate with our words. You can communicate with a favorite song. You can communicate with a favorite scent. You can communicate with touch. Touch is going to become very important in the later stages of dementia. You can communicate in so many different ways when words start to fail. One of the care partners that I worked with came into session absolutely ecstatic. She was starting to feel like she was just basically her husband's caregiver, right? I'm just there to dress him and feed him. Words had failed at that point. Her husband was losing his verbal ability, both for speaking as well as for understanding what she was saying. She took my advice in singing to him as she was doing some of the tasks. And so one day she was getting him dressed and she started singing their wedding song. And he paused and locked eyes with her and smiled and said her name. And that may not mean a lot to you guys right now if your loved ones are still verbal and you're able to hold a conversation with them. But to her, to someone who has lost that connection with her husband for a long time and thought that that was gone, that meant the world. Care partners, one day, because dementia is progressive, you may get there with your loved one where words are gone altogether, but I want you to know, I want to instill that hope that there are still ways to connect with them. You just need the right tools, okay? So on that note, care partners, here's a bit of a mindset reframe that I want for you to think about. You're not failing to get through. You're learning to tap into a new frequency. It's going to take time. It's a completely different language. When you stop trying to reason with the old version of their brain and start speaking to the one they have now, everything changes. You don't lose connection, you just learn a new language. I really hope that today's video was helpful to you, care partners, that you feel inspired both to connect with your loved one with dementia in a new way, inspired to use the 3 S's, and inspired to learn their new language. If it was helpful to you, then stick around for the next one. I'll see you there. Bye.